Look at him hang on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, shoot.
It was tough. The 75 cleans were like the most mental part. There's so many reps.
What am I missing? Get her in here.
Oh, guys and girls, something special has just happened. But you're going to have to stay tuned to find out.
Don't have to say what you did. I already know.
Welcome to Video 4.
Video 4. Whoa, what is all that ruckus that we hear in the background, folks?
Well, if you want to know, stay tuned until the end of the episode. And now we are about to watch Noah Ohlsen do the final workout. You'll also get some spicy clips of Travis Mayer working out.
The
next
Wad
to him.
Slayer.
All right, so laying context for this workout. I sent out a full itinerary email to all of the athletes, which the full workout, which I had sent out as 4-time 50 chest to bars, 50 power cleans at 165 or 110, 50 burpee box jumps to 24 or 20 inches, 50 dumbbell step overs with a 70 or 50 pound dumbbell, 50 toes to bar. Noah wrote that workout on the board. So he probably memorized it, thought about his strategy, thought about his pacing, and got really dialed in to do that workout. Then,
Like 10 minutes before we started, they changed it.
the actual workout, which we're about to watch, is 50 chest to bars, 75 power cleans at 135 or 95, so a little bit lighter than we had written for more reps. The 50 burpee box jumps stayed the same. Then instead of 50 dumbbell step overs, it was 75 dumbbell step overs and then 50 toes to bar. So it's similar enough, but enough of a change that makes it relevant for you to understand when we get into this.
Travis Mayer here from the CrossFit Games.
Hey, Alexis Raptis from the CrossFit Games.
And if you can't come to sunny Alpharetta and train, and if you can't make it to sunny Alpharetta, then don't miss the next best thing.
Become an athlete at
.com.
So you're just going to add me into the...
Yeah, just go.
Okay. New training cycle for TDD Compete and TDD Fitness start Monday, June 27th, 2022. Join us at trainingthinktank.com.
They already said that.
And we're off.
All right, starts with 50 chest to bars. In these long chippers, most of the time I think it makes more sense to have a conservative pacing plan to start and then kind of speed up as you go. Most of the time you see Noah do sets of 10 or 15 with these bigger sets, but he starts, I think, with 25 here.
Yeah, something like that. You know, these chippers are really interesting to watch how people pace and how people break down. And I think it's hard when you're in a race to start something really conservative, thinking about, okay, well, where's the separation? Are you really going to win this workout in 50 chest to bars? Even if you do 50 chest to bars slow, you might lose 15 or 20 seconds, which you'll actually see hopefully when we transition from Noah, because he finishes in about a minute, and I think Travis finishes in like a minute 15 or a minute 20. So I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but it just shows like by the end of the workout, Travis has had time to catch up. So there's Noah at 55 seconds getting to the power cleans. But there's just separation in so many places in this workout that you don't necessarily need to start out super hot. We won't see Travis. Now we're just watching Noah crushing some barbell cycling.
The thing, though, you have to think about is how does one movement bleed into the next as far as just like the maybe local burn that I have, but also like just the global system. So for Noah, chest to bars only 50, he could be more aggressive. If it was 100, he probably would have said, I'm going to do maybe 20 and then 10s or 10s across so that I can go faster in the power cleans. It's just going to be different for every person, but that's something, especially with chipper style workouts, that you have to think about ahead of time.
Yeah, so we have Noah here. Alexis was in the background when he was framed a little bit different earlier, and she started with a touch and go set, but then she moved to singles. Noah started with singles, and I think really it seems like there's not a lot of separation right here, but this was actually when we went into the second heat with the last chance qualifier, folks, there was actually a lot of separation that could happen in this barbell set, but it's not necessarily about touch and going them. It was about the speed of the setup and just staying on the barbell. Travis is behind us, so you can't actually see him, but he started 15 seconds behind and ended up catching him on the power cleans and passing and taking over the lead moving into the burpee box jumps.
Look at John's squat position in the background. It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
Just
so good.
Congratulations, John.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
squat.
to go back to the actual workout, I mean, especially with something like a power clean where the bar has to come back down to the ground every single time over the course of 75 reps, to me, it doesn't make much sense to do a bunch of touch and go reps because then you're just adding that eccentric loading. Getting the bar back to the ground, though, and getting your body back, your hands on the bar quickly does matter. So practicing this, it's almost a skill in your training, doing EMOMs or intervals where you're practicing getting back to the barbell. It really does play a difference. And over the course of 75 reps, let's say Noah started stepping away from the barbell every time, and he's wasting a second or 2 seconds every single rep. That's 75 to 90 seconds that he may lose to the field, but you can notice here that he's basically keeping his feet in the same spot, and then as soon as the bar hits, he's bending back over and grabbing it.
Yeah, so this is kind of a rhythmic cadence. It's really like about 2 seconds or 2.5 seconds from the time it hits his shoulders in one rep until he's picking it up on the next rep. The key, if you're doing singles and you're trying to keep the turnover really fast, is when he's dropping the bar, his hands are coming back and he's standing fully straight up and down and then having to go back into his setup. The key to try to make these faster barbell cycling turnovers with movements like this is almost keep your hands on the bar as if you're going to do it touch and go. So you're riding it down to the ground to get it settled, and then your hands are already there and you're in a setup. And you could actually make, like, instead of it being from the shoulders to the start of the next rep, 2 or 2.5 seconds, you can make it like 1.5 or 2 seconds, which over the course of 75 reps actually ends up being like 20 or 30 seconds over the course of 75. So it's a huge difference. It's only really relevant at this level. Like, if I had to do this, if I had to do 75 power cleans in a row, especially after doing some gymnastics, I wouldn't be able to do this rhythmic, continuous cadence.
Yeah.
So I would have to take breaks, long break, like Dillon is in the background as a semifinal athlete. It's just a super elite athlete, but still there's a long 20-second break that's happening in there, whereas Noah's just kind of staying on it and hammering those singles in a rhythmic fashion. The next step up from that is being able to hammer them at just a little bit of a faster speed.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to point out that Noah does really well, and this is another thing that you as athletes could practice, is he's getting the barbell to his shoulders. He's doing a quick flash of his elbows, and then he's dumping it quickly. So this is kind of another thing, like not having the barbell in that front rack position for a long period of time. It allows you to be able to breathe a little bit better, and then if he does need to slow down or speed up, he can do that by getting the barbell off of him quickly.
Yeah, these are like very unique things to barbell cycling in CrossFit. Like generally, if you're teaching weightlifting, especially for like 1 rep max capabilities, you're trying to get your elbows through and high so your rack is set to be able to absorb a ton of weight. When you're doing something like this for 75 reps, it's about efficiency and minimizing movement. So you want to be extended, you want your elbows forward, but you also don't want them all the way forward where the barbell is almost compressing your throat, which is what you actually want with an optimal front rack.
Exactly.
So it's very weird that you can get like weightlifting instruction that is counter to what barbell weightlifting and CrossFit instruction should be.
Yeah, part of that is experience, and Noah's done this for a really long time. I mean, this is his 9th games now, so he knows exactly how he wants to do it. But this is, again, practice for all the athletes that want to get to this level, playing around with the different variations and finding what's most efficient for you. One of the other things I wanted to mention, Noah is just kind of keeping the same steady pace. He's extremely fit and really good at the sport, obviously. Maybe for you at home, an option that I really like to do is cluster style sets. So what I'll do is 5 really fast, then take a little bit longer break. And now that longer break is just going to be dictated by how fit you are. So maybe for one person, it's a 10-second break. For others, maybe it's only 5 or 3 seconds.
Or for others, it could be 30.
It could be 30. Yeah, for sure. But it allows you to kind of stay on top of, like, I'm going to do 5 fast and then take my break. Another 5 fast, take my break. Or an option is descending cluster sets. So one of the ways I've done workouts like this with 75 is I'll do 5, take a little bit of break, 4, take a little bit of break, 3, 2, 1, and then start back at 5 again. And I know that each of those sets is 15 reps.
Yeah. So you had seen in the background, Alexis had moved to the burpee box jumps a little bit before Noah. I think they were like 6:17 or something like that. And Noah was a little bit behind. Travis was basically tied with Alexis. So they got to these burpee box jumps at the same time. I think Noah got a no rep on his first one. We wanted to practice this standard of doing burpee box jumps with the full hip opening. I feel like over the years, like this year, we had the box jumps where you step off on the other side. The burpee box jump overs have been in quarterfinals. There hasn't been a lot of this hip opening, but there was the rebounding box jumps with hip open in the age group qualifiers. Yeah. So we felt, okay, let's just do something where they're used to going up and back as opposed to up and over the box.
And if you haven't practiced this actually can be really challenging and start to burn your lower back a little bit more than maybe just staying low and kind of going over the box quickly. One of the things that people don't think about on a burpee or a burpee box jump over that really does matter, and again, you have to be fit to do this, is getting back to the ground quickly. And Noah's kind of slowed down a little bit, but one of the things he's always done really well is he stays low on, let's say, bar-facing burpees, or he gets his chest quickly back to the ground on burpee box jump overs faster than the field. It's less about how fast you're getting off the ground, and it's a little bit more important about how fast you're getting back to the ground.
Yeah, it actually, when I watched him do it, I thought, man, Trav's burpee cadence is a little bit faster than I would normally see it in a chipper in this type of format, because he's actually cycling just the burpee portion of it faster than Noah, who's kind of one of the best burpeers in the game.
Yeah.
Noah's
we saw with the deadlift and burpee workout in the Open. He won that workout.
Yeah, he won it before he got his penalty.
Yeah, he won the workout.
False start penalty. And I was gonna say Jake has the fastest burpees in the game. Can you clip that in? Got the fastest burpees in the game. That's my favorite thing. But Noah's one of the fastest, and Trav in this format's keeping a little bit of a faster cadence. So this is kind of like, you know, fatigue, grindy work output where you're doing the same movement over and over. These are like mental tests that don't really seem to, they definitely come out at the games, these like chipper formats where you got to go across a field and do big reps of gross stuff and move it. But we haven't really seen that tested in the, you know, earlier stages that much. It seems like Open is AMRAPs, quarterfinals doesn't really have them. Some of the semifinals didn't have them, or their longer ones have like an echo bike or a running in them. But these chipper things can be really mentally challenging, and I like to observe how the best athletes navigate them and how they continue to move in these high power movements for 15 or 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah, I love chippers being tested early on in the sport. So like in stage 1 of the Open, I think that they should do that more often. But that's just a side note. One of the things you'll notice with higher level athletes is they're never taking those really long breaks. It's not that they're just, you see a lot of athletes that are young in the sport that just like they go really fast on 5 or 6 reps and then they're taking a 15 or 20 second rest and then going really fast again. Maybe that's a good way to train every once in a while, but you'll notice that they can kind of keep this just like sustainable pace throughout, and then they still have the ability to kick at the end of workouts. This is what separates them. Their rest time is just so minimal compared to the field.
Yeah, which is absolutely crazy. Like if for a regular context, for like an intermediate athlete that's developing, this pace that Noah's been holding for 50 burpee box jumps straight, basically. There hasn't been any break. He's just continually moving. If I did 20 in a row at that cadence, that would basically be almost a sprint. It'd be like 20 for time for me, and I would be wrecked and need, just as I say, he doesn't take a break. He took a little half-second extra breather there, but it's still just a ridiculous amount of fitness that is being displayed by high-level athletes in this sport. And, you know, there might be even another level of this, because there might be somebody at the CrossFit Games that would win the heat, that would keep moving at a faster pace than this without breaks.
And you see that. One of the things, though, going to Noah's break, that was a second, you know what I mean?
It was that one breath.
He's still even moving. He's like is getting into a position, taking his breath, and then going again. And that's just part of just being really fit, but that is what's so impressive about these athletes.
Yeah. Trav in the background, he is on the dumbbell box step overs. So this format, we said they could hold it however they want. We said they could hold it like farmers. They can put it on their shoulder. They can put it on their back. They could do however they want to do it. And it seems like that might be easier, but sometimes putting 70 pounds on one side of your body can almost like blow your back up more or blow up your obliques and things that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And I think it threw people's footwork off a little bit, especially for the male athletes. The female athletes to the 20-inch box, it doesn't really seem like the same movement. It's just easier for them to get up and over, whereas this ended up being a lot more challenging for both Travis and Noah on this workout.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up kind of the breathing patterns or blowing up your obliques, because I did some single dumbbell, heavier dumbbell. I used the 60s, not the 70s, but I was just doing some training a couple weeks ago, and the first like 10 or 15 reps felt really good just holding it on one side. But after I got through a couple of sets of that, I realized that one side of my body was like almost burning way more than the other. And so it does play a role over the course of 75 reps.
Yeah. As you guys are watching this too, I don't know if we'll change camera angles, but just we talked about no reps and movement standards. And it's definitely something it's always been a big focus for us to try to figure out what's the standard we train our athletes at, what's the standard they're going to be held to in competition. But now it's like a big community oriented theme. And while watching this, you can notice as they're doing their step ups, some of them they'll step up, and then their leg on the opposite one will kind of like swing up to the side. What I wanted to do when I set this up is have them step the long way over the box, because generally at the games you have a wider box to get over, and if you're training just a 20-inch wide step over, it's not really the same. Like if you watch Travis's footwork, he has to step on, and then, well, sometimes he has to move the other foot again. So that was 2 steps right there that Travis had to take on top. When the box is really narrow, you don't have to do that. So I told them that the only standard was that your both feet had to touch the top of the box. And you'll notice like sometimes they'll swing around the side, or Noah frames his elbow against his knee as he gets deeper into this when his back was blowing up. So if there's anybody out there that is going to be one of the no-rep Nazis, that is on me from setting the standards just in how the movement goes.
I really like what Noah's doing with his footwork. It's not my favorite to do the cross understep personally, but he's keeping the same footwork every single rep, whereas Travis seems a little bit more clunky.
Yeah.
And Travis just like, he's so good at just figuring it out. So that's why Travis probably doing it that way.
Yeah.
But I think for efficiency purpose, it makes more sense to find something like Noah and then make sure that you're minimizing the footwork on the box every single step.
Yeah. See, watch Noah's technique. He'll right there on the way down, he's framing his elbow against his knee, and it kind of prevents you from having to hold your posture up, because the arm basically takes some of the load from your back. So again, that in a competition, it probably would say you can't touch your non-working hand to your leg. They've done that in power snatches, but he did it in there, and I didn't say anything because I feel like it's unfair to just be like in the middle of a workout. You can't do that because he just figured it out. He just figured an efficient pattern for him.
Yeah, we didn't put it as a standard, so we're not going to no-rep him.
Yeah.
If that is a standard, he wouldn't have done that anyhow.
Yeah. This is a good angle to watch this. Alexis isn't a super tall athlete in the sport on the women's side, but you can just see how she's just crushing that box pretty effortlessly. Oh, and this is the error that I was talking about, why I explained the workout. So Noah wrote it as 50 dumbbell step overs. He kind of sold out a little bit. Look at him say shucks. Yeah. But this is actually kind of like, this is a good, I'll talk to him after this, or maybe if he ends up listening to this, it's a good thing that if you do that, instead of like taking a break or, saying shucks and kind of laughing it off, figuring out how to get back to work as quickly as possible and not allow that to happen. Because right there didn't seem like a big deal, but as we get through the workout and you see the scores of him and Travis, it actually ended up mattering a lot, because he lost like 10 or 15 seconds in that, between the drop the dumbbell, the transition, the realization that the workout was different, getting back, laughing it off, getting it back up, and getting back to work, ended up probably being about 15 seconds.
I have to be honest, I actually am super impressed that he was able to laugh that off. I think I'd be like in hell at this point in the workout where I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
I actually really want to know what Travis was thinking when Noah got off.
Because he had to have been like, what
how in the world?
Oh,
okay. Travis,
okay.
Chris, if you couldn't hear that, Chris just said Travis told him that he knew that Noah made a mistake, but
he said fucked up. But
that could just mentally ruin someone if you are going as fast as Travis is, and then Noah gets off, 25 reps ahead of you.
So there's Trav finishing at 15:44. We'll see. I forgot how many toes to bar ahead. Alexis was actually the first off though, so Alexis is ahead of Travis right now. You couldn't see her. Because Noah transitioned before she finished. But Travis opened up, I think, with a set of 20 on his first toes to bar, and then Noah's finishing at 16:06. And I told him, like, Travis is in the middle of this set, so maybe somewhere around 10 or 13 by the time Noah gets there. And I said, try to use your strength here and catch up. And then I yelled to Travis, try to hold him off. But this ended up being another good race, kind of like the snatch workout that we explained in video 2, if you haven't seen it. This was another really good head-to-head race.
Yeah, it's just so hard to be able to catch up when you're going against someone also that's like a top 10 games athlete, because even the weaknesses or strengths are still, everything's a strength, right? So if Travis is 10 reps ahead, Noah maybe can make up some time, but Travis isn't going to fall off on toes to bar.
Yeah, and Travis is competitive, so he's going to fight tooth and nail not to give up his lead, as he just already put 17 minutes of grueling work in to get to this point where he can finish ahead. So this is why we create these environments, because when you're at home, Travis was doing it by himself. even if every rest break is 2 seconds longer, 3 seconds longer, no pressure on you. It's just not the same as being in a competitive environment. And we can't simulate it exactly. We can't bring every world-class athlete in the field in to train with us, but having a number of them definitely helps be able to push athletes and get them as close as they can to being game ready.
Yeah, exposing the intensity and the pressure of trying to finish a workout is really hard to do by yourself. Doing it here, we can do it, and that makes everyone better.
Bam, 17:35 for Trav, and then for Noah.
Look at him hang on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh shit. I didn't see that. What an athletic cat move.
That was really nice.
And 17:47.
Oh, that was good. Just set a pace and try to just stick with it. I didn't know what would happen on the toes to bar, but I knew Noah was close, so I was like, just get as many as I could in, just to like get ahead, and then just kind of stay to my lane after that. But that was a fun one.
That's another close one. Yeah. Man! Not to make an excuse, but the original workout was 50 of everything. That's on me to not remember that, but I don't know, I got it in my head that it was 50, so I did 50, dumped it, thought I got ahead of him, was all pumped, and then wasted 10 seconds.
What do you think?
And then Sara absolutely destroyed this workout. She
So
went
impressive.
16:42.
Can I see? You want me to put it down? You got this high. Okay. Whoa, yes, you got it. I ripped badly yesterday, so I had like 8 band-aids taped and everything, and I did my first 15 chest to bars and I had to rip it off and start again.
And overall, the weekend?
Overall weekend, I'm so happy. I feel that I'm the fittest now that I've ever been since surgery, so I'm very happy with that. Everything is slowly coming together.
Randy, get her in here!
Oh, someone popped? Wait, what? Yeah! Tell me.
Training starts tomorrow, bitches! Let's go! Yeah! Baby, I heard it through the grapevine. Ooh, I'm just about to lose my mind. Honey, yeah. You guys should have been doing this weekend with us, bro.
Get back to work.
What happened?
I feel bad being so excited that something bad happened to someone else, but I guess, I don't know.
Nothing's confirmed yet. We're just looking at an Instagram post.
What did they say?
The guy on CLT got popped.
No.
And they were at Syndicate?
They were second place.
Wow, that's awesome. Congrats.
So y'all would...
We are in 6th place.
All right, congratulations to the TTT team for making it to the CrossFit Games. Yeah, if they get the official invite to the CrossFit Games.
They worked hard all year. They prepped hard. They paced well. They executed well at Syndicate, and it just ended up a little bit short. But now we find out that one of the teams cheated. So it's good for them, and it's a great opportunity for them to be able to go to the games and express their fitness.
You cheat, you pay the price, baby. TTT.
So that's it. That is our whole Games Prep Camp weekend. We had 6 videos. Hopefully you enjoyed all of them. If you watched this one and not the others, go watch them. If you watched all of them, thank you for staying tuned with us through these workouts. Peace.
I can't wait to hear the excuse from the team. Oh, it was in my protein powder.
Yeah, they already said it was.
It was.
In the protein powder?
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it's always that.
I'm leaving that.
I'm being serious, though.
No,
Could it
seriously.
always be that?